Welcome back everyone. In this video, I'll take you through the process of building a garden bed using masonry blocks. Even in an age where AI is advancing and powerful machines like excavators are readily available, there are still those back-breaking manual projects that need to be tackled by hand. Watch as a simple backyard idea evolves into a completed project, and stick around until the end for a clever trick to reuse old polyline connectors. This is just a random garden patch on a rocky hill where we planted a few things without any irrigation. Now I'm using masonry blocks to turn it into a proper garden bed. One of the reasons I've chosen the masonry blocks to build the garden bed over here was because earlier I built a walking steps over here using the same blocks. So I'd like to see the styles to match. The plan is each row is about 2 feet wide. The masonry blocks serving as the steps for each row. I was going to add an edge border for each layer. As I was building the layers, I realized the edge border idea won't work. Well, I had to change my plan. Originally, I was planning to add the concrete block in each row. Then on the edge of each row, I was going to put a border, edge border. This is like 1 foot, 12 inch. I was going to stick out like 8 inches above here as a border. The reason I was going to do that, I was hoping that I can raise the actual plant above the steps, so when you work on the plants you don't have to bend over as much. But I laid out like 3 rows already and put the border in, and I realized that this garden bed, if I do that, is gonna rise up too quickly. I had to scrap my plan, remove dirt, relay brakes, and this is the nature of the DIY. I don't have a clear plan. I'm just trial and error. Like in any labor-intensive business, such as farming or construction, or even in the military, the only magic to get work done is what they call asses and elbows. That's pretty much what's going on here. I'm leveling out each row, lining up the blocks one at a time. Those blocks weigh more than 50 pounds each. With the blocks laid out, now it's time to turn attention to the irrigation. Before I started building the garden bed, I know there are water lines under here. So I don't have a whole lot of good options. And one of the options is to really remove all the rocks and dig a trench and reroute the water line around the garden bed. But that looks like a really hard. And the other options is to keep it in place and just be careful as I build the garden bed. And that looks like an easier solution, and that's what I took. Now I'm paying the price for it because I ended up puncturing the water lines like 4 or 5 different places. What I'm doing now is I'm gonna bite the bullet and cut the line from here and trench it, remove all the rocks, and reroute the water lines. So the moral of the story is the harder and also what appeared to be really a dumb solution, it could be ended up better than the easier would appear to be a smarter solution. It's the same story here. It's just the asses and the elbows to get it done. We all know how nasty it is to dig up the irrigation line to figure out which line belongs to which station, like I have 3 here. After I turned on the station, I tried to touch the pipe or even try to listen to it. I can't tell if the water is flowing through the pipe. That's when I thought of an idea to use a temperature scanner. So you scan the line before you turn the water on. Even if it's a single line, after you turn the water on, it's almost guaranteed the temperature will change. It could be higher, it could be lower, depends on your ground temperature and water temperature. It could be just 2 degrees, it could be 5 degrees, depends where the water is. If it's 3 or 4 degrees, you can easily use your hand to touch it and to tell whether water is flowing through. Or if it is just 2 degrees, you may not be able to feel for sure using your hand. So a scanner may help you to determine whether water is flowing through one line or the other, or the same line even. First, the face of the garden bed is done. I need to adjust the water here and there. And also the plants are mostly potted here. And late in the season, they're not doing well. Hopefully next year, we can plant early and we'll have better plants next year. As I'm working on the irrigation lines, I can't help to mention a trick I use once in a while. This is what's going on. So I need a coupler, just one. I got a ton of elbows and teeth, but I don't have a new coupler. I don't want to just go to Home Depot for one trip just to get a coupler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to reuse this one. The way I do this is to cut the old coupler somewhere like a 1/2 inch over here like this. What you do is you use a needle nose plier. Try to squeeze in. Show it here. Try to squeeze in. Try not to damage the interior, the inside of the coupler. Do this. See, it looks like this. So you collapse this old tube, and you squeeze here, and you can pull out. Then you can reuse this. This is perfectly fine. I only use this trick when I'm in a pinch. If I have a new one, I'll just use the new one. So, and you don't want to go to the store or you're far away, and this is one way you can use the old connector. But if you damaged inside here, then you can no longer use it. So make sure you don't damage what is inside here. And also, you saw that this one came out pretty easy. And some of the ones that if you have to struggle, or go all the way and then try to pull out and it takes a long time to take out, that is probably a sign that the interior may be damaged. So this inside the circle needs to be perfect in order to reuse it. But in this case, I'm not even bothering using this because this looks really old, and plus I have the new ones. So just in a trick, if you're in a pinch that you have to go on with your job, and that's one trick I use. AI or not, I think there will always be hard work that needs doing, projects like this included. If nothing else, it's perfect for gluttons for punishment like me. If you like the content, please hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.